Hi, everybody. It's Michael and Julie again with Solas Inspirational Chats.
Díomh go léir.
And this evening we have the wonderful Felix Hyde, who is a good friend of ours, lives in the UK, and is a holographic um, restructurer. I think, well, I let you explain it. I get a bit tongue-tied when I try to do this. And we thought we'd like to talk to him for this Lionsgate Portal. Felix, lovely to talk to you.
It's lovely to see you both as well. Thank you so much for having me back on. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, oh my God, it's so strong, and the energy is so strong at the moment, and it's only going to get that much more stronger. So yeah, we're in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
And would you also like to explain, Felix, a little bit about yourself? We have the pleasure of knowing you, and a lot of the viewers will have met you too, because you come over to Era, as we call it, not Ireland, Angerland. We go back to the ancient name for our island. And one of the things we really love, and we do love about you, is that you come over here and you do phenomenal grid work. And we've had a chance to share some of those moments with you. But first, could you explain to the viewers what you do? Because Michael and I, we get our tongues tied trying to explain it, and it is phenomenal. And then also talk a little bit about your time here in Era. And obviously, please talk about the Lionsgate, because Michael and I meet ourselves coming backwards with the energy sometimes, but we would love to hear your perspective.
sure, of course, yeah, no problem. So I am a holographic lightbody restructurer. And this is a healing technique that I've developed myself over the past 7, going into 8 years now, from my awakening, dark night of the soul. My consciousness was so fragmented and really damaged. I basically had to rebuild myself, and rebuild my mind. And through that, going into meditation, I learned how to understand, process, and rebuild the structure of the light body. So when I'm doing this with a client, or when I'm doing this on the planet, the template of the light body is the same format, the same structure, just on a larger scale, if it's the planet, or if it's the solar system, or if it is the universal template. It all operates under the same system, and they all interlink with each other. So when you work on healing somebody, you're looking at their light body system, and you're isolating out an area of damage within that. You're opening out the information and looking at it and processing it for them. And then within that, it will isolate a specific memory, and that can be, or it will normally be, a personal memory from this life. Then it will go into past lives. It will go into locations on the planet as to where this has happened. And that kind of ties into the grid work as well. So we basically go through all of these stages to process the consciousness and basically meet the needs of what was going on there, and basically start to rebuild the fragmentation or the fracturing of the light body from that perspective. And a lot of this will come in, it goes from complete basic kind of emotional processing, mental refinement, and then goes into timeline healing, soul retrieval. But what we can actually extend this into, depending on the severity of the illness or the damage to it, it will go into a holographic repatterning, where we bond, repair all of the behavioral patterns, the cyclical patterns, and start to rewind the whole system to align it back into its organic format. We can also be looking at artificial intelligence seals and implants that have been impacting the light body. And these, I've got a whole course on this at the moment, that are impacting it in so many different levels. And the way that the artificial intelligence works, it basically reverses the flows of energy. And that will basically draw life force out of you. And it will also insert artificial projections into your field to wire the belief systems under a mind control kind of status. Now, the way that they've done that is basically, it actually originates with black magic. So the black magic will be the thing that, if we're looking at an SRA, which we all know what that means, so I don't need to say it, that kind of event in your history will have split your body apart, your light body apart, inverted the body parts, and stuck it back together. And then the artificial intelligence will bond into that, and that's how it holds it all in place. So the more layers you kind of go into it, you're starting to take out all of these layers of the architecture, clean them up, and then put them back together again. And that basically aligns all of the flows of your organic light to really palpably and tangibly move through you a lot more strongly. So on that level, that's one part of what I do. Another part of my role is obviously the grid work, which is a blue flame keeper role and a violet flame keeper role if I'm looking at the rehabilitation of the damage. But the grid work side of it is basically recording and updating the timelines to its organic format. Now, the last grid work that we did in Era, sorry, on the Hill of Tara, there was a flock of rooks, a flock of birds that had their little flight situation. Now, when we were there was a huge chunk of artificial intelligence that was released from Tara. And Tara is the Emerald Heart Crystal Network's hub point. It's the actual hub of the Emerald Crystal Heart Network. And that runs as a system to activate the Amareya flame that synchronizes up with the God world structure to downstep the mother's divine love into the planet and then feed through all of these nodal systems. And with that artificial intelligence system that was taken out, this basically decompressed the reversal network within that hub point. And the birds, which I found out recently, were actually tied into a black magic curse situation that was guarding and blinding the eyes of the dragon, which was sat at the Hill of Tara. So this is the mother's dragon imprint that was sat in the Hill of Tara that was reversed in artificial intelligence, was decompressed there and then. And those birds were basically blinding the eyes of the dragon, is what I've come to find out. Now, fast forward to this year, I did a grid work session at Avebury Henge, which is known as the Cosmic Clock. It's the earthbound cosmic clock architecture. Now, the cosmic clock, basically, it links in with the higher heavens, it links in with the God worlds, it links in with all of our dimensional fields, and it's basically a giant clock face that runs a particle timeline and an antiparticle timeline, so a masculine and a feminine timeline that links with the Akasha matrix and the Akusha matrix, so the male and the female. And there are two solar dragons that sit as a hierogamic pairing at each number on the clock face, so the 12 dimensions, 12 numbers on the clock face, and these run 24 timelines between them. Through this grid work, it actually ties back into the Era one, because that clock face basically reset, decompressed out all of this artificial intelligence system, and claimed back the organic timelines to run in alignment with the way that it was meant to be running and flowing organically. And this is basically setting us up through to September, where we crystallize into the higher expression of the bifurcation. That's kind of solidified and crystallized now. And what's also happening simultaneously with that is, as that's decompressed, the base 10 architecture, which is the artificial tree of life, it is the artificial timeline structure, that's been taken off. And what's happening through this Lionsgate is really high quantities of plasma coming in now that clock face has been corrected, which runs through the 12 clock numbers and basically starts to feed all this plasma back into the organic system. The plasma itself activates something called the NOMI gene, and the NOMI gene is a very, very, very high functioning genetic in everybody. Everyone doesn't have all of it, but it affects everybody, like, nonetheless, even the fallen races. The reason being because they kind of interbred with a lot of the angelic humans. So they mishmash their genetics through kind of hybridization results, taking the genetics over. So as this plasma's coming in, it's activating the NOMI gene, which is triggering something called a failsafe code, which is flipping back the code structure from the artificial or from the fallen trajectory back into alignment with the light. So all of the hard work that they've done is now slowly starting to become undone as the plasma's coming in. And they then go through a kind of rigorous process and rehabilitation of their light field, which they will fight to the ends and they will do whatever they can to stop it. And that basically has accelerated all of our light expansion and basically creates this beautiful plasmic shield and evolution of the chakra system, evolution of the light body system into this living plasma flowering lotus body, which is held then in that higher field.
Well,
That's amazing.
So yeah, so in a nutshell, that's what's going on right now for Lionsgate. So everything that we're processing, the reason why it's so high is because of the plasma that's coming in. The fail-safe coding is triggering the depths of polarity reversal in your own field, in your own history. So any levels of hardship that you've just not been able to look at. And we're able to kind of dig up the information within that if you choose to. Now, that is actually triggering something way up in the God worlds, which is called, it's this Effie cycle. It's an alchemical cycle on a kind of, I think it's like on a pre-gas level. And that basically is the final step to the return to source. It's just digging up the final layers of polarity in who we are down here. So I don't have more words than that on a basic level, because I still don't fully understand it myself at the moment. But yeah, that's where we're at.
oh, I think with the eclipse on the 12th of August, which is going to amplify anything that goes on in the Lionsgate Portal anyway, and with the alignment of the 6 planets, which is quite powerful too. So I think, we're heading into a hugely energetic time where people are just going to have to wake up and smell the coffee, because there are certain things that are going to come up that need to be cleared and need to be sorted in order for them to go forward. Those who choose to go forward, obviously everybody's not on the same timeline, so therefore it's down to personal choice, or I believe it's down to personal choice.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think on one way or another, everybody will go through something like that. It's just dependent on how much they're willing to go into it, which obviously, as we know, not a lot of people are. They just tend to go through the motions, and that's kind of just because they haven't learned yet or understood it. But with Chiron is just about to go retrograde, as well as Saturn. So all of that is basically going to tie into the collective field anyway. So there will be, on one level, some kind of review there. And yeah, it's just about them kind of starting to gather their resources and understand who they are and who they're letting go of. Yeah. So yeah, and that will shift everyone one way or another.
Cool. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we know, Felix, that you're fantastic. We've had the pleasure of connecting with you, of participating in gatherings with you. And we will also put all your details in the description so people can book one-to-ones through Zoom with you. Obviously, there's a Céad Míle Fáilte, so we hope you'll come to Éire. I know we were trying to have you over earlier this year. Please keep us updated, because it's always a pleasure to see you and to connect with you in person. But thank you so much for all that information. We'll have to dig into it, because there's so many big words. I think I missed a lot of them. But just to process it, it's phenomenal what's happening at the moment. And thank you so much, Gur Míle Maith, for sharing your wisdom. It's just always a pleasure. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I love it. I love coming back. I just love meeting with you guys as well. It's fantastic for me. It feels like a homecoming every time I come back to Éire. Yeah. And I also feel like we're kind of nearing some kind of completion point with Éire as well at the moment. I don't know, because I'm not there. I'm a good hour away by the plane, but it does certainly feel like we're coming into a level of completion, because every grid work that we've done over there over the past couple of years, there's been an incremental kind of increase of light coming in. But the last one, I was also at Ishnok, just randomly, and that one felt really big. That one probably felt bigger than Tara, which was quite strange. Tara was huge, but that one, it felt very... it felt like the homecoming of the Emerald families basically back into the land. And to see that really now, with the clock face resetting, that would be the point as to where this will come in. So I would say maybe within about 2 years, we could probably see us in a place where that would be there. Good. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we hope it's not going to be 2 years before we see it personally, but anyway. Yeah. But listen, we will keep in touch with you, and you keep us updated on how things are going for yourself there, and we'll do the same here.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
We will talk to you very, very soon.
Yes, and happy Lionsgate. Gur Míle Maith, Slán agus Fanacht.
Thanks, Felix.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.